Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Welcome to the Ermanni and Edwards Show with Maz right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We are without Ermanni and Edwards, so today you get me. My name is Stick, and that is Mr. Anson Wells on the desk. Maz is here, tan as can be, sitting in the Maz chair, looking mighty fine today. Maz, how you feeling?
I'm good, boys. It's good to be back home. Had a whirlwind week, and it was great. It was so much fun.
Yeah, you were in Florida, right?
I was in Florida for 4 days, and then Kentucky and Cincinnati for the rest of the week.
And you met up with Pete at some point, right?
Pete and I went to Keeneland with a couple of other friends, Tim and Mike.
Sorry.
And we saw the Bluegrass Stakes over the weekend. One of the finest racetracks in the world. Keeneland.
How'd you do?
Gorgeous.
I want to know how you did.
We did really fun. We had a fun time.
We did fun.
But
So that means the bets did not go well. We did fun.
We had a great first 6 races. If we would have left then, it would have been outstanding. But you know what? It was a fun weekend. And I'll tell you, the Cincinnati ballpark, great American ballpark. I got to see the Reds and Mets. Rooted for the Mets, obviously. The Mets won. It's new. It's my now favorite new ballpark.
Mets?
Cincinnati's.
Cincinnati's?
Yeah, on the way home from Kentucky.
Cincinnati's beautiful.
What a great place and a great where to have it.
Yeah.
On the water,
Right
the
on the
bridges
water.
are there. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, man.
Yeah, when you drive into Florida and you take that route, you got to pass over it, and you're always like, oh, Cincinnati looks nice. But then you realize it's Cincinnati.
It's the Queen City.
It's kind of like Detroit's sister city. If there was
Yeah.
any city that I could compare the most to Detroit,
No.
I mean, it's a redheaded stepchild of
Baltimore.
Detroit.
Baltimore is the
Baltimore,
only
okay,
city on
I'll
the
give you that
planet
one.
I've ever been to. I'm like, this is kind of like Detroit.
Yeah,
It's
well,
kinda
it's
like
hard
Detroit.
like Detroit, but they got a lot of nice water stuff going on in Baltimore. Cincinnati's got that Gotham City feel to me.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, a
And
little bit.
Cleveland.
Yeah, the mistake by the lake.
Yeah.
I'll take Cincy all day over Cleveland. That's for
Cincy
sure.
Stadium is outstanding. I highly recommend you guys go.
And we got Mike in the sound booth, as always. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Good. How was your weekend?
It was very long. Did some moving. Did a little bit of construction. Just various items. Kind of tired.
You were down at opening day, though. How was your opening day experience?
Oh, it was great. It was my first opening day like that.
For real?
Yeah, I've never been to an event like that.
It's a wild time. I was actually just watching the footage of Spencer and Easy that were filling in on this time slot on Friday. And if you haven't had an opportunity, you can go back and watch the show. Not a lot of sports coverage, but definitely a lot of dancing and a lot of singing. They obviously had a great time. So this show is going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about sports today. It's not just going to be random chicks running up here and dancing. So if you tuned in for that, expecting to see that from 2 to 4 every day, that was a one-off from opening day because opening day is so damn special here in this city.
Something we can work on, but probably not going to happen today.
Yeah. I had a great opening day. The Grand Slam Fest did an incredible job hosting us, along with the Brass Rail, Love and Tequila, and Annex. I mean, they had over 4,000 people throughout that tent throughout the day. It was just an absolute show. And then when the Tigers win, everything was right with the world on Friday. Since then, the Tigers, not so much. But they're still 6-3 on the season, and I'll take that.
I did, before we go on to the Tigers, I wanted to ask, did you have as much fun at opening day as the heavyweights?
I don't think it's possible to have as much fun as the heavyweights. I mean, they were out there. Spenny showed up, I think it was like 8 in the morning, and we started doing shots.
Oh, okay.
And then
All
he was crushing long drinks. I mean, he was having a good time. Do you actually have some of those interviews from Spenny on the streets?
I do. Would you like me to play a few now?
Yeah, let's throw a couple in here, just because
right,
these didn't make it to our social media, but this was Spenny early in the day, and he was still on one.
What up, though, everybody? It's your boy Spencer down here at Grand Slam Fest for opening day. I'm here with, what's your name, miss?
I'm the snack mama.
You what?
I'm the snack mama.
She's a snack mama. And this single-handedly, has kept me...
I bring all the sandwiches. I bring all the burritos, the hot dogs. I got it all.
She's the snack mama. She has single-handedly kept me libated and fueled going on 3 years now. 3 years now. And I'm happy to see you. Can we get your best Tiger impression?
Meow.
Meow, little baby Tiger. And do you have a prediction for the game today?
No. I thought you were going to smoke them.
I'm easy. Okay.
Cypress Hill fucking concert.
It's going to smell like a Cypress Hill concert because there's smoke everywhere, right?
Smoke them so bad.
And finally, who is your favorite Tiger of all time?
Oh, God. Verlander.
Verlander, me too. Let's go.
Kate Upton, them titties.
Titties, Kate Upton, shout out.
That's just a small taste of what Spenny was going through. And here's the backstory behind that. 3 years ago when we started Woodward Sports and we were live at the opening day party, that's my girl, Rachel. I've known her forever. She's been a bartender in this city. Phenomenal, awesome lady. She's right. She is the snack queen. She brought sandwiches for everybody. And I was like, this guy's on my tab. This was 3 years ago. And Spenny, from that conversation 3 years ago, has been on my tab for 3 years. It hasn't ended. I didn't know this was a perpetual to the end of time. I thought it was only going to be for a day. But every time I walk up to her, she's like, yeah, your buddy is, I put him on your tab again. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't even talk about that this year. Because Spenny puts in work on that tab.
You're a father now. You got to watch your dimes, man.
Yeah, well, lucky we get a nice discount. We get a nice discount. But, yeah, Spenny absolutely takes advantage of that tab and couldn't give it to a better guy.
That's awesome.
Some great times, man. I unfortunately, it was my birthday on Thursday night. I didn't get a chance to make it downtown, so I've been living vicariously through you guys. This is my first time not being at opening day in a long, long time.
Happy belated birthday, buddy.
Thank you. It looked like you guys had a fantastic time, and, man, I am jealous of that tan, but I'm glad you guys had a great weekend.
Thanks, man. It was fun.
Yeah, Maz, if you see Maz, this isn't a part of the eclipse. It has nothing to do with the sky getting darker. Maz is just very, very tan from being in Florida.
And I don't lay out, man. I'm just in the pool. I'm in the ocean. I'm not a sun god at all. Like Amon-Ra St.
You
Brown.
look like one, I got to tell you.
I am not.
Are you a hat guy?
I don't wear hats. I'll just put a lot of sunscreen on the head so I don't get too much burn. But I don't burn very much. I have that Arabic desert skin.
Gotcha.
See, I thought it was the Italian in you. We got a lot to discuss on today's show. Tim McCormick is going to join us, obviously. The national championship for the NCAA men's bracket is tonight. Yesterday was the women's bracket, and Caitlin Clark once again coming up short, falling to an undefeated Gamecock squad, and she really didn't have her 45, 60-point performance that we've seen out of her.
She had 18 points in the first 11 minutes, finished with 30.
Yeah.
She crushed.
She's a one-girl team, man. I mean, South Carolina's put together to win, and Dawn Staley is a great coach, the best coach in women's college basketball.
Yeah, Dawn Staley had some nice things to say to Caitlin Clark after the victory, and it's always great to be humble in victory. It's a lot easier than being humble in defeat.
Sure is.
She had some nice things to say about Caitlin Clark. Pete, you got that video?
Iowa on an incredible season. Awesome. And I want to personally thank Caitlin Clark for lifting up our sport. She carried a heavy load for our sport, and it just is not going to stop here on the collegiate tour. But when she is the #1 pick in the WNBA draft, she's gonna lift that league up as well. So Caitlin Clark, if you're out there, you are one of the GOATs of our games, and we appreciate you. Thank you, Coach.
That's awesome.
Very much a class act. I like how she says, though, if you're out there. Like, the girl's in the arena. What do you mean if she's out there? You just beat her ass on the court. Of course, she's standing right there.
She was in the locker room.
Where does NCAA women's basketball go after Caitlin Clark? Like, who's the next superstar, man? Because I got to be honest.
Right, I know that.
I'm not a big WNBA guy. I didn't watch a lot of female, but I tuned in for Caitlin Clark versus LSU. I turned in for Caitlin Clark for South Carolina.
UConn, Friday night. I mean, that was unbelievable. Pete, put those stats up from the Friday night game between UConn and Iowa. They shattered all the records. Not only that, look at all the other sports they beat, fellas. Read that down there.
Yeah, the 4.2 million viewers last night Iowa-UConn game averaged more viewers than any women's college basketball game ever. So it was the most viewed of all time. every 2023 NBA Finals game, every 2023 World Series game, every 2023 Orange Bowl, Big Ten champion, Cotton Bowl, Pac-12, Big 12, ACC championship, Peach Bowl, and the list goes on and on and on. And that's a great stat. That's what Caitlin Clark brought to you because you knew players and you knew storylines, and they built a great one with her and Angela Reese about being a villain and the good guy, and that's what people tune in for. That's what's made WWE so great for so long, is the storylines that they tell. And when you can find those, you can really exploit the sport and get outside people in. Now, when you're tuning in, the product has to be there. And, sometimes those games got a little bad to watch.
I know. Well, most of these shots that these girls put up, these women put up, and they're playing with a basketball that's an inch smaller. The rims are the same, but it's an inch smaller. So she breaks all the records, but let's face it, Pete Maravich is still the greatest of all time. He's the king. And there was no three-point line back then. That's right. But this girl is as close to, I don't know, I'll just call her the female Steph Curry. She gets over midcourt, and she's ready to shoot. She's a great ball handler, and her team was pretty good, pretty damn good. 2 finals in the last 2 years. They came up short both times, one to LSU, one to South Carolina. And that girl that's on USC, that freshman, and I don't know her whole name. It's Juju is her first name. Mm-hmm. I don't know her last name, but she's the next it person. So we'll see if she can keep it going. But when a guy like me, if you had told me as a 62-year-old male that on Friday night I'm out in Kentucky with my boys getting ready to go to the racetrack the next morning, that I had to find a sports bar to go sit down and watch this game, I would have told you you're lying. There's no way that I am going to go out of my way to watch a game between 2 women college basketball teams. And I had to be there, and I watched every second of it. I watched Saturday's games, the men, then I watched Sundays. I'm at the Reds game against the Mets, and they put it on at 3 o'clock, which was a huge mistake. Huge mistake by ABC and ESPN, because they would have shattered all the records if they had it on at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. There I am in the sunshine, 75 degrees, at the Reds game, and I have my phone up, and I was watching Caitlin Clark against South Carolina.
Priorities, Maz.
I'm just telling you, I'm a huge sports fan, and she
was a draw.
She owned me. She did, and I love her.
Will that transfer to the WNBA
I'm going to watch her.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch her.
See, that's my next question, because we got this big 3 thing here with Ice Cube offering her $5 million to come on board.
The big 3.
That'd be a disaster.
Whether she gets housed or not, Reggie Evans talk I've heard.
Dude.
I will tune in for that. I am not going to watch her in the WNBA ever. For the first time in my life, I made sure to watch a women's basketball game this weekend on Friday. It was Friday. And then again last night. And I have never in my life done that. I think that women's college basketball falls back off the same cliff that it climbed up from with Caitlin Clark. Until they can find somebody that captures everybody's imagination the way that Caitlin Clark did. And I am sorry to bring the race card into this, but the fact that she was white and being able to do what she was able to do, I think brought her more attention. And so if there isn't something like that in these next couple of years that's a unique player that's different from what we've seen, the Cheryl Swoops and the Swin Cashes and all of these players that have come out, I don't see anybody tuning into the WNBA or women's NCAA. They're going to be all watching the big 3. I want to see it.
You can't pass that money up. If you're her, you can't pass that money up.
I mean, she should take the money. But honestly, the logic there is right. If she get 3-on-3, there's nowhere to hide you on the defensive end. She's going to get a 6'8" Reggie Evans taking her down on the block and absolutely destroying her. I mean,
will you watch?
It's fun, right?
But will
it's
you
cute.
watch?
I'll watch once.
Okay.
Now, can you get me
That's
to watch
more than one WNBA game you wouldn't watch?
That's probably fair. But at the end of the day, I think that could hurt more than help in the long run, because it's like, okay, now she's out there competing against former NBA players, competing against guys that have played this game a long time, and she's not going to have the same feel for the game as she did against 17, 18-year-old girls that she was 100%. Going up against. So
I can't wait to hear what Tim McCormick tells us.
She's intriguing.
I cannot wait.
Great basketball. It was fun to watch, but the story's over. She didn't win a championship. Is that a knock?
Matter.
That's not a knock on her legacy?
No, not at all.
No?
No. Not to me.
Not to you.
Not to me.
Okay.
Not to me. She made me, as a 62-year-old man, watch women's basketball and have to watch women's basketball.
But can you be the greatest of all time and not have a ring?
You could ask Dan Marino. We can go down the line. There are a lot of guys that never won a Stanley Cup, never won a World Series, never won an NBA
But we don't
championship.
consider them the greatest at their
They're
sport.
they're all in the Hall of Fame.
Kobe and LeBron never won a college championship.
Yeah, Kobe and LeBron didn't go to college.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
See what happens there?
That's fair.
Tim McCormick coming up next. But, Pete, what read we got first? Want that one? All right, let's do
that
it.
one. That's right, everybody. It's Wake Up Woodward time right here on Woodward Sports. You can catch the new morning show here 8 to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, live right here on Woodward Sports. Join Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, who seemed to be in a bad mood on Friday, Broder, JB, and KG every morning as they cover all of Detroit's sports talk, banter, and live fan interaction all right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports, and we shall return.
And with the first pick in the 2024 media draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit.
To any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's wicked awesome.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
And with the first pick in the 2024 media draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit.
Back challenge is here. We are doing it April 19th. That's just what? 11 days away. Ermanni and Edwards going to be live from downtown Detroit, right off Woodward for the Shake Shack QB Challenge. And you can win 2 tickets for Detroit's home opener football game. And, you know, it's pretty easy. Normally we do contests. It's like you're qualified to be in the finals. No. You hit that QR code right now. You sign up. There's very limited spaces. You are in the finals, and you will get a shot to throw that football to win tickets to Detroit's home football opener going on at Ford Field. The Shake Shack QB Challenge. Sign up now. It's free.
Now, is that an accuracy thing or a distance toss?
I mean, there is distance involved, but accuracy.
Okay.
Accuracy. I'm gonna have to.
I might have a shot.
Hit a target. Yeah.
I might have a shot.
I don't know if you can. Well, yeah, you can. You
I
can
got
still play
accuracy.
until
I
you
don't
sign
have
that
the
10.
long arm,
Until you sign that 1099, you can take a.
Hey!
You can play in any of our competitions. But yeah, Shake Shack, it's going to be awesome to be downtown Detroit right before the draft, 6 days before the draft. We will be at Shake Shack doing that, so make sure you guys sign up for that. It's a lot of fun. Do we got Tim McCormick on the line?
We do.
The legendary Tim McCormick is joining us. Maz, why don't you introduce him since you do such a fantastic job?
Well, he's our guy, you know, at the former #1 pick back in the day out of University of Michigan, the former NIT MVP himself. And you see him all the time on the Pistons, Bally's Sports Detroit. It's Tim McCormick joining us. Timmy, welcome in. Glad to have you. We were just talking about Caitlin Clark, her effect on sports itself, on women's basketball itself. Stick asked the question, does it ruin her legacy or tarnish her legacy that she has not won a championship? I say no. What is your take on Caitlin Clark?
Well, I know that I never won a championship, so you cannot consider me the greatest. Look, I am immensely impressed with Caitlin Clark. I would think that, you know, Cheryl Miller and Lisa Leslie, and there's probably plenty of players that have more impressive resumes. But the one thing that I'll give Caitlin Clark is that she has changed the game. You know, like Steph Curry changed the game with his shooting. she changed the game because women are now watching basketball and men are as well. On Friday night, I broadcast the Pistons game, and I came home, and my wife was sitting there watching the Iowa game, and she was cheering. She has never watched basketball on her own, and I have to admit that in my history of being a huge basketball fan, I have watched hundreds of thousands of hours of NCAA and NBA basketball. I have not watched 10 minutes of a women's game. And I sat there and watched the second half and really enjoyed it. And my wife said, I'm really excited to watch the championship game, South Carolina and Iowa. I was impressed she knew what teams were playing. And I said, well, you know what? We're going to go to the bar and we're going to watch this game together. And so we went to the bar, and I was amazed at how many men there were cheering for Caitlin Clark. These are guys that had on their Tigers cap and their Lions hoodie. These are our manly men that love sports and drink beer and eat wings. And Caitlin Clark made a tough finish at the rim, and guys were pumping their fist and high-fiving. Yep. And I just thought, wow, this is a transformational moment. Yes. And look, I don't expect that next year I'm going to stop watching the Pistons and start watching women's college basketball. Well, maybe I will. Now that I think,
depends.
No, just kidding. I'm not going to change my viewing habits, but I do know that there's a million people out there that really never watch women's basketball. They got a big kick out of it. And Caitlin Clark, her skill set does remind me of Steph Curry. She's the best female shooter that I've ever seen. Her ball handling skills are off the chart. Her passing ability is probably her greatest feature. And a lot like Steph and Klay Thompson, you can face guard her, you can get physical and bump her, you can try to intimidate her. It doesn't work. She uses screens so well. She's able to use her high IQ to get open. I just talked for 5 minutes about women's basketball. It's not the 5 minutes I've ever about women's basketball.
So you were talking about just the average Joes rooting for her and stuff like that. But as far as like the basketball community, when you're talking to the pros and you're talking to collegiate players and stuff like that, has it trickled up into that realm as well?
Probably not. And I say that talking to a lot of NBA players, talking to NBA scouts, talking to NBA coaches, I've asked the question, do you watch the men's NCAA tournament much? And they say no, they think the game's too slow. It doesn't intrigue them. If you play at the highest level, I think there's always that fascination and that love of NBA basketball. But I do think that there are a lot of casual fans that like the women's college game better. It's very fundamentally sound. It's not based on dunks and acrobatic finishes. I don't think the defense is that great, but I was trying to figure out what the appeal is. And tell me if I'm wrong. I think that the women's game is 20 years behind men's college basketball. And the reason I say that is last year Purdue got beat by Fairleigh Dickinson, a 1 seed losing to a 16 seed. That would never happen in the women's game today. The 1s and the 2 seeds absolutely dominate because there's a huge talent deficit between the best and the 15, 16 seeds. And I would imagine in 20 years, just like we've seen with the men, all the personal trainers are going to start kicking in and their skill development is going to increase, and you're going to have much more parity. Right now, you've got amazing parity, even though we have 2 number 1s in the men's game. In the women's game, it's not that way. The best teams get the best players, and the 15 and 16 seeds just don't have the talent to be able to beat them.
Hey, Tim, do you think the WNBA will get a bump with Caitlin Clark going there, or do you think she will take the money and go play in this big 3? She was offered $5 million to go play like 3-on-3 basketball.
You know what I would tell her? Go play 3-on-3 until the WNBA season starts. I mean, you can't pass up that kind of money. I like Dave Portnoy's idea about playing on the Barstool Sports intramural team for $10 million.
Yep, $10 million he offered her.
Look, she's not. I guess I doubt that she would play in the Big Three because she's going to be a $50 million person at some point. She's getting all-state commercials.
Yeah.
She's going to become even more marketable when she's the face of the WNBA. And the salary that she makes in the W is going to be her pocket change because she is so loved from a corporate perspective. She's not going to have any problem taking money.
Good.
Well, let's flip on over to the men's side of the NCAA bracket. Like you said, you got 2 number 1 seeds going at it tonight. UConn, which seems to be just a well-oiled machine, ready to take home another champion, versus one of the most fun players and awkward players to watch in a long time in the men's game, and that's Zach Edey at 7'4". Just a huge big man. I don't want to ask you about him translating to the NBA game because we're not quite there yet, but how do you think UConn can stop that dude today?
Well, Donovan, best defensive player in the country at the center position. He's probably the best defensive player that Zach Edey has ever played against. He's super athletic. He's fast. He can block shots. He's got great timing. He reads defenses so well. So I would say, yeah, that's it. You've got the best offensive player against the best defensive player. And I go back to 1984, Patrick Ewing and his Hoyas knocked off Akeem Olajuwon and the Houston Cougars. That's sort of regarded as the greatest post battle that we've seen since then. I'm sure you can go back to Lou Alcindor and Elvin Hayes before that. There's plenty. However, in this era of perimeter basketball, this is as good as we're going to find. If you like post basketball, which I do, sit back. You may want to DVR this one and keep it for future references because we're not going to see anything like this, where you've got 2 teams that have elite big men and they both really go to them a lot. It's a fascinating matchup to me.
Do you ever see the game going back to that big man? I mean, the way it's spread out, the way 3-point shooting has evolved since Steph Curry has kind of put his mark on the game. But I'm with you. I love big men basketball. I love the down low action. And do you ever see the game getting back there? Or is it just kind of we're well past that where our bigs are more like forwards of the olden days?
Yeah. Before the Pistons game on Friday night, we talked a little bit about that. And you can go back to 2004. That really seemed to be the tipping point. Yep. And Shaquille O'Neal averaged 27 points per game. The next highest scoring center was Zydrunas Ilgauskas at 17. So there was a huge chasm between Shaq and the next closest big man. He was getting a little bit older, and everybody around the league was saying, what do? We have no big men that can play center. Maybe what we should do is change the way we play. An example of that is like a Rasheed Wallace. Even Tim Duncan started moving out a little bit. You had big guys that were now being used in the screen game, trailing 3-point shooting. There just weren't as many post centers, and so I don't see it going back because when I watch college basketball, I don't see a lot of big guys that can post up. If I was going to appreciate the potential for post basketball, I would say a more likely scenario is a guy like Cade Cunningham that can take a smaller guard into the low post, kind of like Michael Jordan used to do. Post up Cade, post up DeMar DeRozan, or some of the bigger guards that you can go in there. That might be a better scenario, but I don't think we'll ever see it like we did in the 80s and early 90s.
Tim, you just said it. You played in the era of physical basketball in the 80s. Watched Gilbert Arenas the other day talk about how the NBA has shifted to the European game, and that will never, ever go back to what we were just talking about now. What are your thoughts on that shift over the last 15 to 20 years to a more perimeter-oriented game and maybe even a softer game, as Gilbert Arenas might have pointed out?
Well, it's more aesthetically pleasing to see athletes off the dribble, knocking down long-range shots. Fast break basketball is fun. And the NBA likes it. The sponsors like it. The fans that are betting like it. And the players must like it too, because it's so incredibly easy to score. When I came into the NBA, if I was going to assess my own strengths and weaknesses, I would have been much better off playing in today's game, somebody that could shoot from the perimeter and like to play pick and roll basketball. But at that point, they said, hey, if you want to play, you're 7 foot tall, get your butt down in the low post, learn how to play defense, develop a jump hook. Watch Kevin McHale and some of the things that he does. And it makes me think that from that era, what do you do if you're Tree Rollins or Robert Parrish or Alton Lister, you can go on and on. Even, stars like Moses Malone. Would Moses Malone be a 3-point shooter? What do you do with guys that are big and so talented that don't play on the perimeter? I'm not sure if they would fit in today's game.
Personally, I have one last question. What does it feel like to be part of the greatest NBA draft class in history, 1984?
Because some people, they'll say that, LeBron, Melo. I think it's the greatest, and I'm proud of that draft. I sat right in the chair next to Michael Jordan when he became pro, and just talking to those guys about their dreams and their aspirations, Olajuwon and Charles Barkley.
Nope.
He'll come back. He'll be back.
Looks like we just lost Tim.
He usually pops back in. Oh, maybe not.
That was some great stuff from him right there.
Yeah, and we didn't even get to the important stuff about high school basketball that I wanted to ask him about, because he also does.
I told you he pops back.
There we go.
There he is. Welcome back.
We were talking about Barkley. We left off at.
Yeah, so I was saying that I'm convinced that Michael Jordan felt like he was going to be the greatest of all time. That's just kind of who he is. That's in his DNA. And it was a fascinating conversation, just listening to the other guys in the room and thinking to myself, I can't believe that I am going to cover Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in 6 months. I can't on the same court with Julius Erving. And so it was a thrill. I'll never forget that day. And actually, it was June 19th of 1984. And I've got a little Post-it note on my desk, and I'm going to make sure that I commemorate my 40-year anniversary on that particular date.
All right. Congratulations, Timmy. We love you here, man. And, of course, playing for Michigan and representing them. I got one last one for you on the college game today. Coach John Calipari leaving Kentucky, goes to Arkansas. They're going to throw a bag of money at Dan Hurley. Does he leave UConn?
No, I don't think he will. His team's going to be loaded again next year. He's got a good thing going. I'm not surprised that Calipari is leaving. It reminds me of Jim Harbaugh. If you poke the bear long enough, they're gonna get mad and say, okay, you know what, you're gonna get what you're asking for. Hey guys, I'm gonna go look at the eclipse. Sorry.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Wear your glasses.
Well, before you leave, Tim, just one last question. I know you do a lot of work with Bally's, and you called the state championship game. How much did you enjoy Trey McKinney for Orchard Lake St. Mary's this year?
Yeah, they fit. I think great. He reminds me like of an Adrian Dantley, Mark Aguirre kind of player. He's big, he's stocky. I'm not sure if he's reached his potential yet. He's already physically got it, but I hope he stays in state or Michigan State, and I'm looking forward to watching him again next year. I'm just glad he's coming back to St. Mary's and not traveling away.
Yeah, love to see it. Thank you, Tim. Go enjoy that eclipse. And yeah, that's a problem with high school basketball.
Stay off 75 North, though. Don't go to Ohio. It's backed up.
There's no reason to go to Ohio, even if it's for an eclipse. So just want to let you know.
See you, Tim. Thanks.
Have a great one, Tim. We will be right back. Where are we going, Pete?
Planet Fitness, which would be you, actually.
Hey, Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. $10 a month will get you in the door, but if you want to upgrade to that black card, you can go ahead and do that. Plus, you get the massages, the tanning, so you can look like Maz. It's all good at Planet Fitness. Oh, people are running outside to look at this damn eclipse right now. Planet Fitness, your fitness is essential.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, I take Jeter, my boy, my pet, my favorite guy, always the premier pet supply. That's why they are Michigan, hands down, Michigan's best pet store, family-owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food, the lowest prices available, curbside delivery if you need it. They've got nutritionists on call for you anytime you need them. Give them a try right now. PremierPetSupply.com.
Welcome back to the Ermanni and Edwards Show with Maz right here on the Woodward Sports Network every day, 2 to 4, and we're also live on Fox2Detroit.com, I think. Still after Friday.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
I hope so.
Spenny and Easy definitely did a different broadcast than you guys normally do in the 2 to 4 time slot.
You kind of knew that was going to happen, all right?
Really, the only thing I asked them to do was not swear, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to mess that up. And they didn't swear, so good for them.
Oh, yeah, good for them.
But, yeah, if you missed opening day, it was an absolute scene downtown on Friday. You could go watch the heavyweights right here, 2 to 4. Watch that footage. I think like the first 10 minutes they tried to take the show serious, and then it just became a dance party.
Well, yeah. By that time, I remember last year I was doing it down there with you guys, and by that time I already had 2 people throw up right near my foot on the stage. So you knew at that point of the time of the day what you were going to get. The game was just playing. They were already like in the 3rd inning, 4th inning. So the people that couldn't get in the game, you knew what they were doing. They were just having a good old time, enjoying themselves. And it's a holiday here in Detroit, and we do it I think Cincinnati does a pretty good job as well, I've heard, but I think probably the Tigers opening day would probably be number 1 in the major leagues.
Yeah, the morning show was talking about it this morning. What would be a bigger party? The Lions banner, first game after winning the Super Bowl, or an opening day? And they were all saying the Lions, but...
The Lions parade would be...
The parade's different. I'm talking about game day. A game day. So even though nothing compares to opening day in Detroit.
If you don't
compares.
If you don't have tickets to that first Lions game, you probably aren't going to be downtown. Opening day, so many people go down there without a ticket because they know that's our city at its best.
Okay, listen. If the Lions are in the NFC Championship game and it's at Ford Field, that breaks everything. No, it will top opening day twice.
I mean, the 2 home games in Detroit, you were there. You were there for the Lions.
Yes.
Was it opening day-esque?
Yes, it was.
Bigger than opening day, though.
It was huge. It was all over the city, not just around Comerica Park and Ford Field. It was everywhere. The street signs were lit up for the Lions. It was, like I said, a traffic turn right. It was like, go Lions, beat the Bucks, go Lions, beat Matthew Stafford and the Rams on street signs.
Awesome.
I mean, it was so great. But opening day, take nothing away from it. always a great time. And you know what? We had nice weather this time.
And that's the thing. Like, the Lions definitely went all out. That's because it was a rare occasion, right? Opening day happens every year, and it's still the biggest party in the city every single year. And when the morning show was talking about it this morning, I wanted to, like, chime in and be like, guys, you know, when Detroit has winning baseball, they will put 40,000 people in Comerica Park 81 times in a season. I mean, back when Verlander was doing his thing and Scherzer and Porcello and Miggy and those teams were playing, they were sellouts every night at Comerica Park. The Lions sell out 8 to 9 times a year. Right. Easy. 81 times of 40,000 people. That's insane.
Broder, by the way, is on the chat. He's a little perturbed that you haven't called his show a proper name yet. He calls it the show with no name.
The show with no name. Oh,
yeah.
Wake Up Woodward.
There you go.
It's the morning show. You're the morning show.
Well, I'm just telling you what Broder's saying in the chat.
Oh, good God. Broder, tuck your ego on this. You're the morning show.
I like your hat, by the way.
Thank you.
Just noticed that.
Grand opening this weekend. Come on out to Hayes Social,
I will
21
be
Mile
there.
and Hayes.
I will be there
New
for
menu
sure.
drops Friday.
That's
Grand
fabulous.
opening party Saturday.
That is
All right.
awesome, man. I'm so happy for you and the crew.
Eastside needs it, baby. We need it.
Congratulations.
What time Saturday, Stick?
Well, I mean, we open at 4 o'clock, but our main performer, her name's Vassy. She does a bunch of songs with Tiesto and in the EDM world, a bunch of #1 hits. She's gonna be performing probably about 11 o'clock at night.
All right,
Like, get there early.
Show up early.
I'm sleeping by 11 o'clock.
I'll send you videos.
I'm only joking.
Maz, why don't you just come out early and try our new ribs?
I will.
We got
Someone try the pizza.
I will put our ribs and our pizza up against
I heard
anybody.
your pizza's damn good. You know I'm a pizza
Phenomenal.
I will put it up against
I'm
anybody.
all over it.
And you know me. I won't put something out unless I'm proud of it.
I am out. Pause. By the way. You know what? I might go to the Tigers game and then come see you guys. Even better.
Yeah, do it.
Even
There we
better.
go. Do it.
By the way, we had Tim McCormick on. Thanks to Tim.
Broder just goes, what the F? I'll start putting my ego in check.
Did you know Tim McCormick
Wake up, Woodward. Wake up, Woodward. Wake up, Woodward. Wake up, Woodward.
He was traded on opening on draft night.
Who?
To the Sonics.
Who? Tim McCormick?
Tim McCormick was the Seattle Supersonic. They got to bring back the Sonics, by the way. They've got to come back.
That's my second favorite team, the OKC Thunder, but they just don't look right in those blue uniforms.
No.
And they've got great fans in the state of Washington. The fact that they took the Supersonics away from them is
It was because of the
travesty.
arena. It was because of Key Arena.
Yep.
That was why. Nonetheless, I just wanted to get my 2 cents.
People
in
don't
on the
realize
Seattle
that Kevin
Supersonics.
Durant wore a Supersonics jersey.
Yes,
That's
he did.
right. He sure did.
He looked good in that
By
one.
the way, Pistons, 4 games left. If they win them all, they will match last year's 17 wins.
Hey.
They play the Bulls on Thursday as the home finale, but tomorrow they are in. Where are they tomorrow? They're at the Sixers tomorrow. So they're trying to stay away from the worst record in the NBA.
We have a 1.5 game edge on owning that worst record, which will assure us of the number 5 pick yet again. Right?
Again, of course. And, us not getting Victor, and that's your guy. And would he almost throw up a quadruple double last week?
Sleep on the San Antonio Spurs winning that number 1 pick again and selecting French center Alexander Sarr so the NBA can recreate the Twin Towers in San Antonio on the Riverwalk once again. It'll happen.
I hope not.
I hate San Antonio. I was at Game 7 in 05. It was rough.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Rough.
I'm with you.
I'd like to apologize to Broder. I feel like I hurt his feelings.
You did.
Broder's the man, though.
I love Broder. Broder
the
knows
nicest
I love
guy
him.
in the
Broder's
building,
the bro.
and you crapped on him.
I'm sorry.
Wake
Broder.
up, Woodward.
Wake up with
Wake up.
Broder.
There you go.
Wake Up Woodward, starring Matthew Broder. Wake up with it every morning.
he
8
brings
to 10,
that morning
right here on the
Woodward.
Woodward Sports Network.
Bro, we love you, man.
We love
do.
you.
He's
Come on,
great.
Broder.
Hey,
He's
I'm putting. It was between you. It was between Broder and Anson, who I was going to give all my card collection to take a look at.
Oh, to take a look at.
Take a look at. Well, to take a look at.
I'm excited just to look,
That
man.
went from here to here real
No,
quick.
I still want to just look. I love seeing people's
my
collections,
card
man.
collection to Broder
Now,
Anson.
Broder kind of retired and pushed back from the hobby. Let's keep
He
that
did.
in mind.
He
all
did.
right? Let's keep that
But
in mind.
are you good with 1960s baseball and football and 70s football?
What was waiting on your desk today when you
A
walked in
Bruce
today?
Harper New York Jets football
That's
card
right, baby.
was waiting for me on my desk
From
today,
the Detroit
courtesy
Heckler.
of Anson well. All right, you got my cards.
Oh, Broder, I'm sorry. I'll share a little bit.
Broder, I got
Hey, man.
I got media guides for you to look at, Broder.
Oh, boy.
Media guides. Poor Broder.
Broder, feel free to call in and defend yourself.
Please.
Oh, he's dropping
Please.
F-bombs in the chat now.
Right.
Good God, I can't put some of
Those
these
are
up
my
here,
effing
man.
cards.
I can't put them up.
I'm going to give him a VMix number right now.
Yeah, have Broder call in.
Yeah, I'm gonna
because
give
we're
him
going to
a
settle
VMix.
this
Same
once
one
and
we
for all
sent
out
him.
here.
I'm giving him a VMix.
What can we do to make him feel better?
You can have him on and apologize to him.
All right.
We've got some real nice mustache creams over here at Lady Jane's because it's wicked awesome.
It is wicked awesome.
It is.
Well, let's take a break. Let's get Broder on the air with us, and we will come back. Pete, what do we got to do next, though?
We're going to do shop.woodwardsports.com.
There it is. Oh, yeah, by the way, it's
Ooh.
Merch Monday. Merch Monday.
Merch Monday,
Go
baby.
win a free T-shirt right now on our
Let's do
Instagram or Twitter.
And
Go
then I was
ahead.
going to ask the great Sam Stick Day, is the new political shirt out yet with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell?
It's out and it's selling like hotcakes. I checked the store this morning. So
Then go to shop.woodwardsports.com and get the new political T-shirt, the card that anybody would vote for. Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell. Also, look at that LFGRW hoodie. You know what that stands for.
time!
That's right, baby. So go to shop.woodwardsports.com and load up on the new merch, the hees, the hats, and the hoodies that are guaranteed to turn heads. Again, that is shop.woodwardsports.com. We shall return.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Nashville hot chicken, and it's back for a limited time. That new Nashville hot pizza is also in, so if you like that chicken with the hot sauce, no other place to go than Soroki's crispy chicken and pizza. They got them all over Metro Detroit. Come enjoy the delicious heat. Speaking of delicious heat, we got Broder on yet? Come on, Broder.
Oh, no, we do not.
No, we do not. We need Broder to call in. Yeah, they were talking about.
I sent him the info.
I pissed off a pitcher, so I know if
He
I
said,
was
nah,
about to step up and do it bad with
here's
Broder, I'd be
Broder's
getting a
response.
90-mile-an-hour
Here's
fastball.
Broder's response to being on the air.
Nah, I'm at. Well, that's the best place to do a call-in. We got to show love to the sponsors, man.
That's right. He's not doing us any favors. Come on, dude. You're at Planet Fitness. Call in, baby.
Is that the place to be, though?
It is the place to be. Squeaky clean gym.
It is.
Now they're talking about me and Broder in a wrestling match like me and Easy did back in the day, or Stick vs. Broder in a Japanese barbed wire death match. Listen, me and Broder are boys. Like, we played for the Space Dogs together. That's how I met Broder. We were on the same softball team. And
are you doing that again?
We were the 3-4 hitters on the team. Broder,
he's a legit athlete, I hear.
Broder, you
He
do not
pitched for
try to
Michigan.
score. You do not try to score on Broder from left field when
Oh,
you're on
really?
second
Oh,
base.
wow,
Broder
okay.
will gun you out 100 times out of 100.
I love that.
The lefty throwing it from left field.
That
beautiful
mustache
thing.
muscle.
He's a much better outfielder than I am. I play first base because I can't.
Are you playing again?
I took spring off. I'm gonna play summer and fall.
Okay.
I got too much stuff going on right now, Maz.
What do you got going? A couple kids,
Got
couple
a
kids to look
baby,
at.
got a bounce house business, we got Hey Social, we got Woodward Sports,
You are a busy
we got
man.
the draft coming up, we just had opening day, we're doing a live broadcast at Shake Shack. I mean, what else can possibly be going on right now?
Good for you, man.
Yeah, it's a good time to be
Super
alive.
Bowl next February. I'll say that.
Super Bowl would be nice. Yeah.
Believe it.
People are saying Stick and Broder both have good length. Pause.
Pause,
And
baby.
Long and athletic, both of them.
We
That's
were
for
the
sure.
Twin Towers going in there for the Space Dogs. Best version of the Space Dogs, too, by the way.
I love the name.
Yeah, it's a great name.
Do you guys have a great jersey to go along with it?
We do, and then Farmer Jack is our sponsor on the back.
Very nice.
Stick is a much better first base.
That's
Thank
funny.
you, Broder. That's where I'm at. Let's get back into talking some sports.
Hey.
Broder, feel free to call in anytime you want. We appreciate you. So
Draft
much.
17 days away, man.
Can you believe that?
17 days away.
Have you guys driven downtown yet and saw like the stage being built?
I
and
haven't,
stuff?
but I've seen pictures.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's
It looks
really cool.
it looks humongous.
It is. I mean, they already have streets blocked off.
Yep.
It's going to be crazy.
On Friday.
What's that?
We put the pictures of the stage being built up on Friday. It was beautiful.
What is it Fox 2 that's doing a time lapse of it being built?
Yes, I think it's Fox 2.
That's cool.
I got my guy who I want with 29.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. He had his pro day today at Iowa. I've said it last week. I'll say it again. I want Cooper DeJean or Cooper DeJean, however you pronounce it. I want the next Jason Sehorn on the Detroit Lions. I think he is the perfect guy for the Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes regime.
I mean, listen, Jack Campbell out of Iowa certainly wasn't a bad pick last year. So why not go back to that trick?
Neither was Sam.
Yeah, Sam Laporta.
He was real good.
Pretty good.
Neither was TJ Hawkinson.
Pretty good.
I love this kid. I just love, people will call him a try-hard, right? He's one of those guys, but that's who the Lions like.
That's because he's white.
That's who they like.
Honestly, that's what they use for white players.
Correct.
Like white players
Yep.
always try hard.
You're right.
And black players are always super athletic.
Yep. He ran a
That's how it
4.45
goes.
40. He's got he had a great broad jump, a great long jump. He got the good height on the jump. I don't know what his numbers were, but he did very well today. And he's coming off a knee surgery, so that was a thing. But they said he's fine, and or not knee surgery. I think he had a broken leg or something like that, broken fibula. But he is fine. He's strong, and he fits the Lions, right? He's an injured player. There he is. Everything fits.
He'd be going a lot higher in this draft. They'd be talking about him a lot higher if he wasn't coming in with this injury. He's a cerebral player that fills two roles for you. He can play some safety as well as corner, but then the third role is that return man. He really would fit in from everything that I've picked up on this kid. Not just his game, but who he is as a human being. He fits into that Brad and Dan mold.
This may sound lazy of me because I'm a sports broadcaster and stuff, but I've kind of given up on trying to guess what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are going to do.
I'm not guessing. I'm just giving you my wish list.
I know what your wish list is, and I have a wish list as well, but I know none of it. This is the first regime that's it doesn't really matter. All of us can guess, and come draft day, you never know. Brad Holmes trading up to 12 again. Is he moving it? I love this, but I also hate it because you can put in all the research you want, but unless you're in that war room with these guys and looking at their draft board, the way they evaluate talent, it's just, I think we're still maybe 1 or 2 more years to figuring it out of what they're doing because I don't know what the hell they're going to do come draft night.
I think we've figured it out, and you just said it. We don't know what the hell they're going to do, but this is nothing different from what it always was as a Lion fan. It's just the opposite side of the coin. We never knew what this team was going to do. We just knew we were going to be disappointed.
Right.
And now...
Well, we knew they were going to be smarter than the room for their room, right?
Always thought they were smarter
we know
than everybody else.
They're going to be smarter than 31 other rooms.
Yes.
Or, okay, I'll say 28 just to give some people, some other GMs some credit about how well they drafted.
There's good drafting teams.
But nothing shocks you with these guys. No one's safe. They're always going to move around in the draft. They're probably going to take somebody that wasn't on your board, and you're probably going to end up being happy about it.
Right. But at first you're going to be like, who? Oh, they went and got him? And that's what makes this so exciting, but it also makes it so frustrating as a broadcast because normally you'd be like, all right, we need a cornerback. Here's the 4 best cornerbacks. Let's break them all down. Who's going to fit the system? Now it's like, all right, we need a cornerback. But
we're usually not picking at
29.
this number.
Yeah, that's...
We're usually discussing, we got a top 5 pick. I mean, they either got to take this guy, or this guy. That's it. Now we don't know. You don't know what's going to happen because 28 guys are going before the Lions pick. They might not even pick in the first round. You don't know what they're going to do.
Does the Lions having this later round pick kind of take the buzz off of it for you, Maz?
To me, it does.
Or do you want that top 10 sizzle?
I do. I want me. I want the best player, the guy that everyone's talking about. That's what I want. But I'm a fan. I'm a fanatic. That's what fan is about.
Yep.
So picking 29th, it's boring. Last year, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles, they picked 31st and 32nd. By that time, 3/4, 90% of the bar was gone. No, the other part was drunk. The people that were actually in Kansas City watching that, the Kansas City Chief fans, I forgot who even they took. Who did they take with the 32nd pick last year or the 31st pick
I want to know, though,
last year?
We know who you'd like, Cooper, at 29. Who's your your wet dream, I guess I'll say it.
Hey-o.
Who do you want there? Who would you trade up to go and get? What would you move around?
I got to be honest, man. There's really nobody because it's a quarterback draft. You don't need a quarterback at this point right now. They have a guy in Hendon Hooker that we don't know what he's going to do, what he's going to be. And you got Jared Goff who's going to get paid here any day now. So you got your quarterback situation. They might take a guy, a flyer late in this round, in this draft, to take a quarterback. I don't have anyone that I want to trade up and get. I just don't. I think they are ready to play football today. Yeah. They're ready.
The Kansas City Chiefs, with the 31st overall pick last year, took Felix Nduleki Ozoma, an edge rusher from Kansas State.
There you go. How exciting do you think the Kansas City Chief fans were about that one?
Right. Well, and then what was it? 2 years ago they took Clyde. 3 years ago they took Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the first running back over Jonathan Taylor, over DeAndre Swift.
I know.
Over Cam Akers. Over.
They just signed him, by the way, to another contract, so they're keeping him.
Yeah,
they are keeping him.
In the second round, though, they did get Rashee Rice from Minnesota through Detroit. So that was Detroit's pick at one point. But yeah, to your point.
By that time, you're
the worst year ever to have the draft in Detroit.
We're sleeping.
The worst year ever.
It is.
If this was the Aiden Hutchinson year when the second overall pick, downtown would have been absolutely insane.
How about when they traded up to get J-Mo?
Wait a second.
That was that year. That was that year.
Wait a second, though. Nobody fully believed in that team. The Lions fans that are going to be down there this April know what's coming.
Yeah, but at
the
that
excitement
point,
for the entire franchise is at a higher level. It's not just about one number 2 pick or a number 12 pick. It's about all of us coming back together after we lost the NFC Championship for the first time as a Lions fan base. So the excitement, 29, 2, 19, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to you?
No, not at all.
Because I'm kind of like Mads. It's just like, all right.
It's the end of the night.
This was the worst year to have the
draft.
It's
11 o'clock at night. I'm picking.
And Brad Holmes could easily trade out of the first round.
Could happen.
At that point, at 11 o'clock at night, he's like, the hell with it.
Right then. Keep us up all night and then just see you tomorrow.
You know what? I like Mikey Sanders still, too. I would not mind picking him at 29. I want to thank Todd for reminding that. Matthew Kruger, by the way, for reminding me that. I definitely would not mind Mikey Sanders still as a Detroit Lion.
Graham Barton.
How about a receiver?
Third round. We need a little more help.
You don't think a receiver drops? One of the like third or fourth guys drop down at 29? You like receivers?
No, none of those guys are going to go past 12. Those top guys. Well, Brian Thomas might get maybe to around 20. I'll tell you what. Any one of those 4 guys, though, Maz, you're right. If they're there, they're going to be real hard to pass on. No thanks.
Yeah.
You don't want him at 29?
Really?
No, not over what we could do to the rest of our team, an offensive lineman or a secondary.
I kind of like that, Stick.
Yeah. Listen,
that's kind of like a little.
I won't be disappointed with anything that happens draft night. Like
even an old lineman.
That's why I feel that we're just at a different spot as Lions fans. Like you said, this is more about the excitement of the team, what we're going through, what they're going to accomplish next year. But honestly, like it's not as exciting as having that number 2 overall pick. Even though we're a better team, the day isn't as sizzly, right?
I don't know, man. I'm sizzly. We got people coming in from all over the country, guys from colleges I know. So many Detroiters are coming together for this. People skip opening day, even though they go maybe 7 out of 10 years. If you're a Lions fan, if you're a Detroit fan, you're going to be downtown that whole weekend. And that, for me, is bigger than any one player that we can pick.
There's going to be a lot of Chicago fans down there because they're going to want to hear that first pick and that 9th pick.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
They're going to take over our town, guys.
I hope
the
not.
Chicago people.
There's going to be
Don't
lots of
fight
fights.
with them.
There's going to be lots of fights.
Do not fight.
Lots of fights.
They're going to learn real quick.
FTB.
Black and blue division, baby. Black and blue. Let's go.
Style pizza.
Oh, yeah, Chicago style pizza. That's a pie.
That's
not
right.
a pizza.
It's very
Not
good.
a fan.
It is good.
It's very good.
One slice will fill you up.
Detroit
I'll take
style
at least
all
2.
day.
Come to Hey Social. Get
Thank
that
you.
Detroit style.
Damn.
Detroit style all day.
That's right, baby.
Damn.
It looks like the eclipse is happening as we speak.
Yeah, let me get a
my.
weird
Anson
shadows
cam update.
happening.
Yeah, let's
We
get
should
an
put the
Anson cam
shades up.
update here.
The shades are up.
They are?
Yeah.
Holy crow.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to be able to see the sun.
Well, it's just.
And you know what? It's going to drop. How many degrees will it drop?
I don't know.
Got to drop at least 10 degrees, right? For about a half an hour?
I would imagine.
Think about that.
I don't know. Pretty cool.
It
This
is.
hasn't happened since 1979, even though there was another eclipse in
2017.
2017.
Yeah.
Right.
But this total eclipse hasn't
Correct.
happened, and the only place you'll see it.
I remember
close to us
reading
is
that
Ohio.
newspaper, by the way.
I saw
The next
some-
eclipse will not happen until 2024.
Well, and back then, didn't they tell you to just like poke holes in the newspaper
Yeah.
to look at the eclipse?
If you watch the series Mad Men, which is one of my favorites,
Fantastic.
they were watching an eclipse, and the school had their kids outside.
Yep.
And what they did is they made like periscopes out of cardboard. You look through here so you can see the sun that way. So that's back in the 60s. That's how they were looking at the eclipse. This is pretty cool. I forgot until you just looked outside. It's getting dark out.
So
Yep.
for you, those of you that
3:15 is the official time, right?
Wow.
For those
Somewhere
of you
on
that
there.
like the biblical implications here, this is passing over 7 cities named Nineveh, one named Rapture, and then a few others that are all biblical names. So there's a lot of people thinking all kinds of different stuff about this one. It's going to be, I'm just glad I'm not in Indiana or Ohio right now or ever.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
is this another one of those apocalypse things? Ooh, look at the sun watch right there. Can you pull that up on a website, Pete?
Let me turn the camera around.
No, on a website. Pull it up on the website and put the browser up. You're not going to zoom in on his camera.
The sun watch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go to sunwatch.com or what is that what it's called? Sunwatch.com, Mike?
I just went on Google and typed in Eclipse
There you
Live.
go.
How many
Prisoners
people?
being locked down, all kinds of cities sounding state of emergencies. It's interesting, man. Everybody's got their eyes to the sky today.
How many people in the chat are outside right now, watching, hanging out with us, and trying to watch the eclipse at the same time?
I just see a bunch of people standing outside the Lady Jane's building right now. I don't know
How many people are looking directly up at the sun, saying, "The hell with
They're
that"?
sharing
I'm
glasses.
looking up.
Yeah, well, you know.
My kid is so pissed. She's at Michigan State, and they all sold out of glasses. And my kid at Grand Valley just sent a picture to the family text, and she had glasses. So Grand Valley had glasses. MSU did not.
Yeah, typical. Michigan State doesn't care. Let's take a break. When we come back, we got some NFL stuff to talk about. We got Tigers baseball to talk
Red Wings.
about. Red Wings to talk about. Big game tomorrow night for the Red Wings. Where are we going from here, Pete?
I'm going to go to the good news, bad news, and the bad news right off the bat is the sun is getting darker. Yeah, the bad news is insurance rates are going up across the board in Michigan. The good news is that Swiss Insurance is here to help. Right now, more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss will make sure that your carrier does not slip in extra fees or raise deductibles. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today or visit SwissINS.com and tell them that Woodward Sports sent you. We'll be right back.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Oh, Red Wings. from Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
Eclipse, folks. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut as well. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, and relax. Let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you and look you feel great. Make it, walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. This is pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
The next eclipse.
Can't see a damn thing in here.
Next total eclipse, Mike just told me, 2045. 2045.
We will all still be here, my
If
friend.
I'm around, God willing, I will be 83 years old.
Yeah, these eclipse glasses the Lady Jane's girls just gave me when I ran out to look at it during the commercial break. Pretty cool. You should go run and look at it, man.
Timmy Max got his.
You want to go run and look at it real
I would
quick?
love to. You don't mind?
Yes. No, come on. You can go
All
do
right.
it real quick. Come
We'll
back
hold
and
it-
report.
we'll hold it down while you're gone.
I mean, listen. This is history, right? We
That's
should all go
right.
take a look at the sun. Look at us. Look at us. Is Mercury in retrograde? Like, I feel like
Amon-Ra St. Brown is angry today, my friends.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah, take those out there.
That's a
check it
sun
out.
that's impossible to eclipse right there.
Now, when you come back in, man, give them to Anson. Anson, you got to, I mean, Mike,
I'm
you should go
down.
look at it. Pete, you should go look at it at some point, too.
Throw it on the two-shot.
Yeah.
I'll go
Appreciate
take a
you.
look at it.
It's part of it. We got to go check this out. So, yeah, thank you for watching Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Oh,
Uh-oh, frog.
sorry.
Frog.
Right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. I looked up at that eclipse and it took my damn voice, so be careful out there,
breath away.
people. But no, yeah, like the apocalyptic overtures of this type of stuff. I always think back to like when humans were first evolving and nobody knew that an eclipse was coming. They just woke up one day and the damn sun was covered by the moon. Can you imagine how scary that would be
Right?
if you didn't, like, if nobody ever explained this to you and you walked outside, you're just like, oh my God,
It's all over.
the world is ending.
Sacrifice your firstborn.
Right. Here, take this. Take it. Whatever, son. And then the moon passes, and you're like, oh, phew, all right. It was worth killing that baby.
Dude, I
kept those
miss
goats.
Timmy already. We sacrificed Timmy for no reason.
Ah, poor Tim. little did they know, Tim had to go that day. But I love thinking about, like, the first humans and the evolution and the thought process, because now it's like clockwork. We know, 20 years from now, we're going to have another one.
Exactly.
We were worried about Y2K. I can only imagine what they were freaking out over back then.
Isn't that cool? Go on. What,
Anson's up next.
It just looks like a little fingernail sliver, on top of the moon right now. But it's pretty cool how that happened.
Yeah, I think that is pretty sweet, dude. But again, imagine the Egyptians back in the day when they were just like, the gods are mad.
Right.
Bring me my only daughter. We don't need her anymore.
Yeah, well, who'd you piss off, sun god? Just an interesting. I love thinking about the first human. And when I think about medical stuff too.
Yeah.
Like whenever you see somebody trying out a medical process, you're like, man, the first version of that must have sucked for that guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get heart surgery back in the BC
a blood
time.
transfusion, anything like that. It's just.
If you remember Joe Willie Namath's knee brace, he was like the first one to wear this huge knee brace. It was like so huge.
Yeah.
It was the first one. But that is so cool, man. I'm so glad I got to go out. Anson, you back already?
I am. I looked at it with my bare eye for just a split second.
Oh, why did we give you the glasses?
Well, I looked at it with the glasses. It's pretty awesome.
And then you were like, I gotta see it in real life.
My
Let's show
mom
people
as a
what
kid told me never stare at the sun. So what did I do?
You stared at the
I
sun.
stared at the
Now,
sun.
tell me you're not seeing stars right now.
Just one.
Yeah, the sun.
It's a star.
It is a star.
Pete, did you see it?
No, I'm going to, after Silent Mike gets back, I'll go see it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Silent Mike left.
Yeah, you didn't even know. He
didn't
creeped
know.
out of here.
He usually leaves in the middle of the show. We don't even know.
Silently.
Here he is. He's right behind you, Maz.
Silent
All right, I'll
Mike
throw
is
the
back.
three-shot
Yeah,
on and
throw
leave
up
it.
the
All right,
three
yes,
shot.
sir.
Let
There you
us talk for a little bit.
What
We got sports to talk
All
about.
right, Silent Mike, get
We do
back
have
in the
sports
booth.
to talk about.
Yeah, see, Broder, I wonder how the first person discovered cows have milk came into their udders. Like, like who's the first guy that's like, let me try that? Or like cheese or mushrooms, like all the mushrooms.
Did he straight lip it or did he pull some out?
I wasn't there, but
I imagine he straight lipped it.
he had to be a little bit of a freak to try it.
You're right about that.
Just like, hey, come here, cow. So yeah.
When Pete comes back, I got a funny story for you, Stick.
All right.
I got the story in the rundown strictly for you.
Was it the Micah Parsons one?
It is. We'll
Yeah,
get to it. We'll
I saw
get to
that
it in a
in there. I
minute.
was like, oh, I'm
It's
gonna tear
strictly
Maz apart.
for you. For you, baby. But I want to talk about the Tigers for a few minutes while we can.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, we can keep talking about the Eclipse. It doesn't matter.
I mean, we got a winning ball club here.
We
playing
do.
baseball, so.
Now, look, they don't score runs very often. That's the
Nope.
problem here.
Nope.
you can't depend on your pitchers giving up 0 or 1 run. You have got to start scoring, and they have got to start hitting. And I know it's only 9 games in, and they play the red-hot Pirates tonight. Pirates are 8-2 for the first time since 2016. So that is thank you, Pete. Give these back to Rachel.
Yep.
They're Rachel's.
Oh, they're Rachel's? Okay,
Yep.
got it.
Give back to Rach and Spenny. But, yeah, the Tigers this weekend, they lost to the Oakland A's 2 out of 3. Here's a stat for you guys that it's unbelievable to me. This is unreal to me. Against the A's since 2016, at home, they are 4-21.
Yeah.
Against the Oakland, soon-to-be Sacramento, soon-to-be Vegas.
Does that include playoffs?
Athletics.
That includes playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything. 4-21. They beat them when it counted back in the day in 06.
Yep.
We owned them back
But
then.
they don't own them anymore.
Nope.
And I don't understand what this team has got. But they're one of those try-hard
They're the
teams.
Seattle Seahawks.
They're a try-hard
That's what
team.
they are.
But the Tigers are just crapping a bet against this team.
Well,
and now they get 2 with the Pirates.
Can we be honest? The Tigers weren't supposed to be good this year, right? We knew they were going to probably compete in their division, but starting out 6-3, all of us should be ecstatic that the Tigers are 6-3 right now. The fact that they started out 6-1 and have dropped 2, that's just water finding its level.
We
right?
wanted them to be 6-0 at that opening day. Remember, we should have been 6-0.
Almost.
Should have been 6-0. They gave that game up to the Mets, and I don't know. Maybe they really haven't been the same team since that day. Really.
No, and listen, it's going to be tough, right? Especially when you're reliant solely upon your pitching, like you said. It's hard for them to manufacture runs. It's hard for them to get hits in big spots. Yeah. So this is just what it's going to be like the entire season for the Detroit Tigers. You're going to have to rely on your bullpen. You're going to have to rely on your starters to give you 6 good innings and then patchwork it together from there. And if they can do that, they'll be fine. They're competitive. And that's all you want. 3 games above 500 through 9.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Reese Olson gets the ball tonight against Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller is going to be the ace of the Pirates eventually. Had a terrible game last week, but maybe they could beat him. They played just a short 2-game set, then they come home for the remaining part of the week. So
yeah, see, Dante 151. The Tigers were supposed to be average. And they exceeded expectations to start the season, which is all I needed going into opening day because people were in a celebratory mood on Friday.
They've already had a better start than they've had in numerous years.
Well,
look
all
how
their
dark
best
it is
bats,
outside.
all their best bats are 24 and under. Right? I mean, the fact that their pitching is keeping them in games. If these young guys can figure out how to swing the bat, this could be a real dangerous team in the second half. And you know that it's in a non-dangerous division. So who knows? We might have 3 playoff teams this season.
New GM, new team. Stick as a Walmart Tigers fan.
Ooh.
From Matthew Kruger. I don't know how you get that by me saying that they were going to be competitive in the division this year, but a new GM is great. New team, that's great. But until they prove otherwise, they're an average ball club.
And that's a lot compared to what we've had for the last 10 years from this ball club. Average, I will take. That means we're improving.
Mike G said it's darker out there than Maz.
I don't know about that, man. It's pretty tan outside.
It
but not
does
that
look
tan.
like nighttime right now.
This is unreal, man.
Pretty wild.
It is a little,
It's not dark there.
Right,
Those
because of the
aren't
tinted
shades,
windows,
guys.
so it looks darker than it is, but it is,
No, it's pretty damn dark out right now.
But then light on the other side of the building, kind of.
Yeah, on the
Not
Mavs
really.
side, it's not as filtered as those windows are behind you.
Yeah, but it is. It's a cool thing to see.
It's cool. It's like a preview of 8 o'clock at night.
Did you guys catch anything on the weekend for the UFL at all? Have you watched a minute of the Michigan Panthers?
I have not.
Big Leg Burke? Is that his name?
Have you at least watched the kicker?
Big Leg Burke, baby.
I have not. I mean,
Jake Bates.
I saw
Bates.
the
Big Leg Bates.
62-yarder.
Bro, he hit a 61-yarder yesterday, 62 yesterday, 53 as well. And last week, what did he hit? A 65-yarder?
65.
Why is he not in Allen Park?
65-yarder.
They said they were talking to him.
Big Leg Bates, baby.
How about that? So the Panthers lost yesterday. They're 1-1. It's sad to me because, and I'm one of them. I'm not going to see him yet. And you look at the stadium, and there's hardly anybody there. I want to see spring football work. And I was one of the originals, and back in the early 80s for the USFL, which was a fantastic league.
Sure was.
And you know what? The NFL, which is the mob, rubbed them out. It took 3 years, but they rubbed them out. USFL actually beat them in court. They called him an antitrust, but they only gave him a couple of dollars, and they got the check still uncashed still.
You got any old USFL shirts or anything?
I have so much USFL stuff. I have every pennant. Pete's dad was the original commissioner of the USFL.
That's
Pete's
right.
dad.
That's
and
awesome.
Pete's got the ring for the Michigan Panthers back in '82.
Bobby Hebert.
Bobby Hebert.
AC.
But this
NAC,
league has got the TV behind it. They have Fox, ESPN. But I don't know, man.
It's still not enough.
I don't know.
What they need is what the NCAA women's basketball had. They need storylines.
Yeah.
They need characters. They need familiar faces.
They need to steal players,
I'm not familiar.
from the NFL.
I couldn't name one player on any roster. I couldn't name one. Is
Matt
Fisher,
Corral.
Is Fisher still our coach?
Yeah. No, Jeff Fisher is not.
Okay. See, I couldn't name the coach. Like, that's what makes brands.
Our coach is Mike Nolan, former coach of the 49ers.
And they have the talent there, but that's what makes brands is names. You're never going to become competitive unless you give us names.
Wade Phillips is a coach.
Well, Wade Phillips isn't a name. You know what I mean, though? Like, if you got a Jerry Jones, now all of a sudden people are buzzing. You get a Wade Phillips, it's like, there's Wade Phillips. That's the thing, and that's what they need. You thought with The Rock backing them and stuff like that, it would have some more buzz and some more appeal to the masses. But if you don't know the name, you don't care about the team.
I know.
And none of us were born into being Michigan Panthers fans. So, that's going to take years to cultivate the young fan who grew up watching the Michigan Panthers to care about them through the crappy years. Because, honestly, that's why we still care about the Pistons, right?
Sure.
If I was a young kid growing up right now, it'd be so hard to get on the Pistons bandwagon.
Yeah.
So you need a winning product, you need identifiable names, and they have neither. And that's the problem.
Or you do what the NBA did and what the MLB has done for decades and probably a century now, and you tie them in, and you go from the CBA to the NBDL and now the G League, and you create a farm system to keep these players that you know who these players are because they're playing for your systems. People don't really follow minor league baseball so much as they follow those guys that are coming up the ranks. And we've seen with the G League Ignite, which they're actually getting rid of, but some other guys like Scoot Henderson and Kuminga that actually had a little bit of notoriety and actually brought some people to the stands for the G League. Now, if this is just another XFL and they're in and out after 5 years and the NFL never taps them on the shoulder and says, let's develop you, then yes, it's never going to take root. No one's ever going to care. But I'd love to see a minor league system for football.
I think this will become that. I think it's our only hope, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and then so in my theory, you take your practice squads and turn them into USFL
100%.
teams, right? And now
Not a
every
bad
team's
idea.
practice squad team is a USFL
And they're
team.
playing.
Not a bad
And they're
idea.
playing. I mean, it's spring ball, obviously. But now I'm getting to follow a guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved him in the U.S. Is he gonna
a
make
good
the
idea.
squad this team? And then you already have your teams built in. Your
Absolutely.
infrastructure's built in. Your playbooks are built in, essentially. So to me, as an outsider, that's what would get me interested in the USFL. You know, drafting who was the Shane Morris or who was that?
Yeah.
That was their first number one overall pick. Drafting him did not excite me, right?
Got it.
Because I don't know where he's going after the USFL. I just know
It's
he's
a
probably
UFL now.
whatever.
Okay.
I just know that he's on his way out of professional football. You're right.
Yeah.
Like
Well, look at Matt Corral. Matt Corral was a third-round pick
Yeah.
in the NFL. He's now starting for one of these. I think he's with the Stallions.
But that
if I'm not
means he's
mistaken.
trending backwards, right? This needs to be a stepping stone up, not a stepping stone back. And
by-
that's what it is
And
right
by
now.
involving the practice squads where you're having basically minor league players compete against your practice squad guys to the point where maybe they can make it up to that practice squad. Now all of a sudden as Lions fans, you're paying attention to your local Detroit, affiliates.
You know, me and you would be
All
like, we'd be-
over it.
Oh man,
All
they got
over
this
it,
wide
man.
receiver from Texas Southern Northern Tech.
Right.
Like, I think he looks good on the practice squad. Like, we would be all hyped up about
Indeed.
that.
Hey, it's getting lighter out.
The eclipse is over.
Getting lighter out.
Well, that was fun, boys.
It was fun.
That was cool.
So yeah,
I took a few photos.
That's what I would need to get involved. Oh, there it is. Good job, Pete. You took photos while you were out there?
Yeah, that's the one through the glasses, but obviously you can't really tell. But whatever, I
You
just
can't
tried.
tell that it's been eclipsed.
Yeah, that doesn't look like an eclipse at
I
all.
hear you. I just whatever.
They tell
It is
you
what it
don't
is.
bother with your phone. NASA will have better pictures.
Oh.
And so I'm just Pete.
It's because they don't want us to see what's actually going on up there.
I'm just messing with you, bro.
Get your Hubble telescope out now, Pete. These lame-ass iPhone pictures. Oh, no, Pete doesn't even have an iPhone. He's got an Android.
I know.
Androids, baby. Androids, baby.
Because of him,
Take
I
that
have
with
to
the
use
next tell or
WhatsApp.
what?
Yeah, we can't even add him to
I can't
group
even put him on a
chats.
text chat.
I hate that. 11
The
guys in
green.
my fantasy league, all
Mike's a
on
green,
iPhones but
too.
one.
Mike knows.
Silent
Drives me
Mike's a
nuts.
green.
I feel like a redheaded stepchild, which technically I am.
Yeah,
You
you're
are.
You're a no.
You used to be
no-haired
redhead.
stepchild. Where are we going from here, Pete?
Stepchild. We are going to go to one of Maz's favorite reads, and that would be Guardian Alarm. What happens when you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house? It tells the bad guys, and especially Tom Mazaway, one thing.
Stay out.
Stay out.
That's right. It's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring and technology backed by people. And these people who have been proven to work and proven to care. Call
Where are the
1-800. Anyone?
What?
Stay
Call
out.
1-800.
Stay out.
Oh, man.
That's 1-800.
Stay
Stay
out.
out.
Call them today.
I said, where are the people?
Call today and tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
And with the first pick in the 2024 media draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Les Stanford. When you do business the right way, you know what you do? You expand. You bring in new brands, and that's what Les Stanford has done. Chevy, Cadillac, Buick, GMC, they got you covered. And if you're looking to upgrade your vehicle right now, they will get that trade-in, the maximum value for you, too. So Les Stanford, go to Les Stanford today. That's lesstanford.com. Together, we ride.
We ride.
We ride.
And find new roads.
Pete does have a Nextel. Pete plays Snake on his Nextel phone.
Pete has a flip phone.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Braylon Edwards. That is Anson, filling in for Ryan Ermanni. Tan Maz is here, sitting in the
filling in
Tan
for
Maz
myself.
chair. Of course, we have Mike and we have Pete. And now it's time to go around the NFL.
Here's a story that I really never wanted to read.
Yeah, especially with me in the room.
Especially with Stick.
Number one on the list
Especially
here.
with Stick on the chair. No, I lied. I put this on #1 because...
I saw it in the prep. I was like, oh, man.
Oh, so Stick gets a shot at me here.
I saw it last
It's
night,
turning
thinking
out
the
that
same.
my guy... Yes, everyone knows I wanted Micah Parsons over Penei Sewell. I get it. All right, I earn it.
No, wait. Say that one more time because I don't think everybody knows.
I wanted Micah Parsons over Penei Sewell.
Not only wanted, you still.
I still, to this
Still
day,
upset.
until I start reading stories like this. Now, we've seen him chirp on his podcast throughout the season. Well, it turns out his chirping and maybe other stuff he does is starting to wear thin on his teammates. I'll let you read that, Jeff.
Report, Micah Parsons has, quote, worn thin on Dallas Cowboys organization and some, quote, won't mind if he's out of here, end quote. So, wow emoji. Could the Cowboys actually trade away Micah Parsons?
Never.
Their best player.
They won't. They won't.
Even
but
if
I
he's
will
a
say,
cancer to a franchise.
I will say that this doesn't look good on him. He's still a great player, from what I understand.
Premier.
I've also heard this, and I'll throw that out so I can give Stick some more lumber to put
Let's
on the
do it.
fire. He's good when the game isn't on the line, and he's not very good when the game is on the line.
So he's
I've
your
heard that
perfect
as
Dallas
well.
Cowboy.
Well, there you go. Stick. There you go.
So,
Have at
Max,
it.
this is where I have problems with Flannel Sam sometimes. This is where I have problems debating you sometimes. It's not about performance always. It's about the man. It's about who they are. It's about what they bring to your culture,
Cohesion.
what they bring to your team, the baggage that they come with, good or bad. And Micah Parsons, before that draft, that's why he kind of fell in that draft, if you remember. There were questions about his integrity and about how he was as a... No one showed up to his birthday party, Maz.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
That was another guy.
Were you there?
That was Johnny Manziel.
But that's like draft day. We joke about it.
Actually, that was Baker Mayfield.
But that's so true, and that is one thing that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have done an impeccable job doing. I guess not impeccable anymore after Cam Sutton, but they've done a damn good job doing is finding guys that fit the culture. That have the energy, the mindset, the ability, and Micah Parsons has the ability. But does he have the mindset? Just like everybody wanted Chase Young last year and was roasting Brad Holmes for not getting Chase Young. A lot of people were roasting heavyweights, roasting Brad Holmes for not getting Chase Young. You know what the knock on Chase Young is? He plays when he wants to.
Right.
He's going to take plays off during the game.
Absolutely.
That's not going to fly under this Lions regime.
Not everyone can be lying now.
Not anymore.
That's right.
There's a standard now if you want to step foot in Allen Park and you want to put on Honolulu blue that has never been there before. And Micah Parsons, it's coming out. This is probably part of the reason why Brad Holmes chose a Penei Sewell over him, because since then, Penei Sewell has become one of my favorite men.
He embodies the culture they wanted to build here.
And it's not only player-wise, it's man-wise what this guy does. Like, you see him being an absolute animal during
He's a
the
leader.
game. You see him gripping up Aaron Donald's face mask. You see him being a beast, but then you see him on the sidelines with his kid. Then you see him being a big, soft teddy bear.
Threw out a first pitch the other day.
Threw out a first pitch, and it was a strike yesterday.
Beautiful.
I missed that.
But that's
Blake Corum yesterday.
That's the type of guy that you can build around, right? A guy that puts his family involved. Like, you can see he's a good guy, but he's also a beast between those lines.
Just leads by example in his regular life and on the field and in the locker room, and that's all that these two are assembling. Brad and Dan only want all-pro mentality that goes along with all-pro game.
Yeah, and I'm so happy they made the right decision. Maz, this has been a fun debate for, 3 years since they made this draft. Me and you have gone back and forth. And honestly, Parsons is a Hall of Fame talent-level player.
Great players.
But what he brings, isn't it his brother that's always got Twitter fingers too, talking about the organization, talking about Micah Parsons? All that stuff adds up, and it's a distraction in the locker room.
He's a leader. He's going to get paid. He's going to have a gold jacket one day. God willing, he stays healthy. And he was a great pick.
Who you taking now?
Yeah.
Who you taking now, Maz? You're on the clock.
All things considered, today, if the draft was today, Micah Parsons, Penei Sewell on the board, who you taking?
I'm taking Penei.
Hey! There we go! All right!
Oh, it feels good.
It does.
I can add another one to the stick was right bag.
You were.
And we can
You're
go
not
at
right
it.
yet.
It's a big bag.
No, it's
a very large bag.
I mean, listen, I keep the receipts, and I feel almost elated right now as I'm gonna feel when Anson finally drops the SOL moniker.
Hey, let's see a Super Bowl, baby.
And if Maz can get over Micah Parsons, I know you can get over the SOL.
Well, I'm over Matt Stafford. Does that help?
No. Good old Matt Stafford's over Detroit too from his post-game comment. But no, he did a nice thing. Him and Kelly were in town last week dedicating.
They finished what they'd started.
Yeah, that much
They're
respect.
Good people.
They are good people.
They're good people.
They're
they
good
came
people.
here. You know
just
what?
Not our people.
They were a
anymore.
little butthurt. They came here. They were a little butthurt.
But that's what are you butthurt about?
Over watching somebody do something you could never do in your lifetime.
Isn't that tough?
That's what it was.
It was their own fault that they were butthurt. What does she expect? Walking around the stadium. What does she expect? Of course they're gonna boo her.
Right.
They're not booing the kids. They love the Stafford family. We love the Stafford family.
Yep.
They did great things here, and I'm a Matthew Stafford fan.
Just
I
not
rooted
from
for
1
him.
to 4 p.m. on that day.
On that day,
Yep.
I wanted to kill him.
Enemy.
On that day, he
I wanted
was
to kill him.
standing in front of the Lions from doing something that they had never done in
Correct.
Ford Field. And I hope they are aware of that context, because his post-game interview comments rubbed me the wrong way.
It's because
when
he
he wasn't happy for the fans, but he was happy for the players.
It's because
like,
he talked to
bro.
Kelly prior to that. And Kelly's like, they booed me and the girls. Did you know that? That's why he was pissed.
You were wearing
Let's
a
face
Rams
it.
jacket.
Let's face it.
Yeah. So
That's why.
It's a good thing he's not in Philly. He doesn't have thick enough skin for that.
He would have got hit with a snowball with a battery inside of it.
Right. That's right.
What's
Of
that?
course.
They booed Santa Claus in Philly.
Oh, yeah, they threw batteries at him, didn't they?
That's right.
I'm telling you.
Tough day to be Santa Claus.
Snowballs with batteries in them. That's what Philly fans do.
Yep. He's
And they're pretty
he's
fun.
in L.A.
Here's the one for you guys. With the draft coming up, and I know, Anson, you're a big draft Nick, and the quarterbacks are all the talk. And there's a lot of teams that want to move up and try to get one of them. And Drake May is on that list.
Mm-hmm.
Merrill Hodge, who was a great analyst and a great draft analyzer, came out and said, Drake May is the kind of player that will get you fired. That's pretty
kiss of
harsh
death
words.
for
He's
Merrill
also
Hodge.
talked about Caleb Williams, almost in that same breath.
You guys know I'm not a Caleb guy by
I'm
any
with
means.
you.
I have been a Drake May guy, but the more that you explore his statistics, he's regressed. You know, he only had a few snaps as a freshman, but his last 2 years, he's regressed. He had a fantastic second year, 38 touchdowns, 4,300 yards, only 7 picks. He lost 14 touchdowns passing this year. And he's got a top-notch, maybe first round, but at least second round graded wide receiver in Devontae Walker. He lost, again, 14 touchdowns, threw more picks, and he lost nearly 1,000 yards in passing. This is not a big program at NC. North Carolina, you should be able to really run roughshod over the AFC or ACC. This guy, he struggled. I really, really love his mold. The guy can run the ball well, but it's really starting to put that chink in his armor right now, because you're supposed to progress in the college game. And if he's going backwards, I just don't see where he's going to end up, because there's no good situations he's going to get drafted into.
Well,
And he follows in Mitch Trubisky's footsteps.
You stole the words out of my mouth. I mean, North Carolina, the past 3 quarterbacks, including Drake May, that they've put out. Sam Howell, Mitch Trubisky.
I like Sam Howell.
That was all right.
You like Sam Howell? You
I
like
do.
Malik Willis, too. But
I did.
Not working out.
I like Malik Willis because I wanted a quarterback.
Yeah.
That was more than I liked Malik Willis.
But either way, like back to the point, it's UNC starting to become the Ohio State of NFL quarterbacks. Like, oh, they're never going to produce somebody that can do it. CJ Stroud kind of broke that off last year for Ohio State. Finally gave them a
And
feather
Fields
in the
will
cap.
as well.
Fields. What do you mean? Fields is already a failure.
No, he's not. He will reinvent himself in Pittsburgh.
Well, Mike Tomlin will reinvent him in Pittsburgh.
You're going to see.
As a backup quarterback?
He's going to be starting.
At a
bro.
You think he's going to start
6-round
over
pick
Russ?
price, too.
He'll eventually start on that team.
Absolutely.
And he will
So
eventually
he'll be
get.
7 years deep in the league and he'll finally hit his stride. That happens with 0 players ever.
It's his 4th year.
Right, and I'm saying 2-3 more years. Russ going to be the starter,
No,
and then eventually
Russ will be
Russ
gone
is
by
going to be
half
done after
season.
this year.
In fact,
This is Russ's last year
No, but you got to look at
as a
Fields.
starter.
What have you seen with Justin Fields that
I like-
NFL executives haven't seen?
I like him.
That's a great point.
I like
because
what
there
I
was-
see.
There was
But you're
30
right.
31 teams
30
could have had him.
teams that wouldn't take him for a 6th-round pick. Now,
Right.
that being said,
6th-round pick,
if he
guys.
Could
plays
be a
half
4th,
the
though.
season,
was
it
a
turns
first.
into a 4th-round pick. So I think that you're going to see them start with Russ. Mid-season to the late season, they're going to make a move to Fields, because I think Russ is cooked. I think we can all agree on that at this point. But this is a team that they know how to develop talent. Cordell Stewart / should not have been as good and as effective in that offense as he was. I'm not singing the high praises of Justin Fields. You know where I sit on that.
Are we really going to say Cordell Stewart is that Fields' peak?
No, I think he can be much better than Cordell. I think he can be much better than Cordell.
There's
And
a
I
lot
think
of
that
teams
he
that didn't
ended up
take
in
him.
one of the very few franchises that can pull it out.
Steve-O Baby says, Stick, any quarterback can go onto a team and redeem themselves. Name me a couple. Can we do that? Can we have
Jim
that?
Plunkett.
Geno Smith.
Scott Mitchell.
Yeah, Scott Mitchell.
Kirk
Wrong.
Kitna.
Geno
John
Smith.
Kitna.
I'll give you Geno Smith. Geno Smith had a horrible start to his career, ended up having a good year, and that's fine. I'll give you Geno Smith. Outside of that, what 4th, 5th, 6-year starter has become better after being traded away from his team?
Baker.
Alex Smith.
Baker?
Yeah.
Alex
Baker hasn't
Smith
been
and
better.
Baker.
Yeah, he is.
Where was Alex Smith better at?
I mean,
better than he was in San Francisco.
For sure. He was terrible in San Francisco. I mean, that was a guy that everybody thought was a bust.
And he was a number 1 overall pick.
And he was a bust for a few years, but that's one of the few cases. You're right. I don't
think this applies. People are putting Baker Mayfield. I don't think this applies to Baker.
Well, Baker was real good. He had one of the best rookie years for a quarterback ever, but then he fell off and he went through 3 cities.
Right.
So to see him come and play at a high level is answering your question, but you're right. There's very few in the history of it, at least me watching the NFL.
And how many quarterbacks have been drafted in the 1st round, traded for a 6th rounder, and been successful?
The reason no one wanted him, Stick, is
because he sucks at football.
They don't want to pay him because they're going to have to pay him. So they want to see what he can do first. The Bears would have kept him had they not had the number 1 pick. The Bears would be riding with this guy had they not had the number 1 pick. And they have passed up on 3 quarterbacks so far. 3 quarterbacks that could have put them on the map already. And they could not afford to pass up on this next guy, Caleb Williams. That's why Fields isn't with the Bears anymore.
And that's why the Bears are just going to bear, because they're going to go get Caleb Williams, who's going to be a regression
and he might
Justin
fail
Fields.
again.
I think so too.
They haven't hit it yet.
And then
you could have had Marvin Harrison on this offense. You could have done a lot of things.
You could have traded down, taken one of those top 3 wide receivers, added everything that you needed to, and not ask your offense to learn with a new, 20, 21-year-old quarterback?
Charlie Batch.
Charlie
Batch. Yeah, that's the thing.
I like that one.
Alex Smith took him to the playoffs in San Francisco.
Steve Young, someone wrote, but he was the number 1 pick.
Does it say Steve Young?
Yeah.
But Steve Young sat behind Joe Montana. That was a succession move.
Well, he was in Tampa first. He was at USFL, Tampa, then San Francisco.
Right, but that was a succession move. They brought him in to sit
but
behind Joe Montana.
But he improved from Tampa to San Francisco. That's what they're saying.
With how many years on the bench behind the greatest quarterback of all time?
Right, but he got crushed in Tampa. He had no line. He was
when did he play in the USFL, though?
USFL, he was with the LA Express. He was the number 1 pick.
Was that in between? Didn't he leave
Vick?
Tampa Bay, go there, and then play for San Francisco? Okay.
No, he got drafted by Tampa Bay, said, no, I'm going to the USFL. And then Tampa owned his rights when the USFL folded.
Gotcha.
He went to Tampa Bay, and then they let him go for his own sake.
Can we stop the Charlie Batch thing? Like Charlie Batch, yeah, he went to Pittsburgh and got playing time, but he was never a good quarterback.
We're not. There's no Charlie Batch hate allowed in this room.
I'm not hating.
Okay.
I'm just saying he didn't go and become a great quarterback.
No,
he
he's
got
never a great
playing
quarterback.
time.
He was a starter.
Right.
That's about it.
Scott Mitchell came here and ruined some dreams.
Terrible. Now,
he had a couple great years here.
Eric Kramer did come here and have a pretty good run after he was terrible for the Bears.
He won
No, it was the other way around, bro.
Who did he start with before the
He started with the Dolphins, then us, then the Bears.
Oh, there you go.
Encyclopedia over here.
Brett Favre, Atlanta to Green Bay, but he got traded as a rookie.
He never played in Atlanta. He hardly played.
You can't
hardly played.
You can't say that's a Justin. Justin Fields had 3 years of starter minutes.
Yeah.
And did nothing with them.
Now the great Brett Favre trivia.
Last year, to be fair.
Who did he complete his first pass to?
Ooh, for Atlanta?
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, who did he complete his first pass to?
Andre Rison, yeah.
Brett Favre.
Oh,
I got
off the
blocked
helmet,
back.
completed it to himself. That'll buy you a couple shots at the bar.
Wow, that's interesting.
John Kitna came to Detroit and did some good things, but he wasn't successful. So that's really the point. Like
Case Keenum,
if you're the number 1, if you're a number 1 first round pick and you get traded for a 6th round pick, I have yet to see a story where this ends in you being a superstar.
Well, we'll see what happens.
And that's the best thing about sports.
Before I got you onto Justin Fields, you were disparaging Drake May. I cut you off.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't disparaging Drake May. I was just saying UNC's kind of fallen in that line. If they keep producing quarterbacks who look good on tape, maybe system guys, but once they get to the NFL and fall on their face, they're going to start becoming the Ohio State of the draft again, now that Ohio State actually got that monkey off their back.
Yeah. I'm not sold on any of these quarterbacks, and you weren't here last week, but JJ, I think, has the best prospects out of all.
Say JJ McCarthy?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I think he's what I've seen out of his maturity and growth as a quarterback from when he was fighting with Cade to get the job. The fact that he was able to survive the adversity of this season and take them the whole way, I like that. I like
Art
that to play
Vandelay
well
said
as
Trent
a pro.
Dilfer.
Art Vandelay?
Art Vandelay said Trent Dilfer.
Ooh.
Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
He was never very good. He was a game manager.
But he won a Super Bowl.
He did. He did indeed.
Okay.
Art
I
Vandelay.
like that name, Art
That's for you,
Vandelay.
buddy.
I will.
Good job.
I will take that. Dante Culpepper in Detroit. No, Trubisky has screwed all UNC quarterbacks moving forward, in my opinion. I mean, Sam Howell still got a good look, but
He's got a shot.
Washington decided he's not our guy.
I thought they gave up on him.
Who did he get traded to?
Sam Howell?
Yeah.
I don't know
Who's he playing with?
where he's at now. The quarterback I do like is Jaden Daniels, by the way.
Yeah.
He going to
Daniels
Seattle?
is a stud, too.
I think so.
He's in Seattle.
Who is?
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell's in. Oh,
And the report was
He could
be
have
the
that
starting-
job by second
he'll
half of the season.
He'll be the starting quarterback. there.
I liked him. I really thought that they gave him. They got him out of town.
He was
a
the
little
most
too early.
sacked quarterback in the NFL last year.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. The Ninja
Ask Stafford
Jinja
about that.
and I are on the same page. Daniels is the only one worth the first.
Yeah,
Not
I
even
like
JJ,
Daniels
huh?
and JJ.
You don't like JJ?
I don't know enough about JJ, right? Anytime
Well-
you hand the ball off 32 times in a row, I'm gonna give some credit to the team that was surrounding you, because let's be honest. Can he has made all the throws? Can he do it consistently? That's the question on
Depends
JJ.
where he goes.
It does depend.
I think he'd be a great fit in Minnesota.
But
Like
I think
said from day one.
Harbaugh has done a master class on hyping up his own guy so he will get a better pick, pushing quarterbacks above him and the Chargers pick. And I think Harbaugh is very smart
He's
when it
taking
comes
Joe
to pumping
Alt,
up
or
JJ.
he's taking the tight end Brock Bowers.
Bowers. Yep.
That's who he's taking.
6'4", 210 is Daniels. Think that's going to hold up in the NFL?
I think that's the prototypical.
I don't know.
He's going to gain weight.
A little thin.
He's going to
Little
gain.
thin for me. I love him. I think that he fits the RPO game, the current game in the NFL. But I do think JJ does the same.
Heisman Trophy winner, though.
Ooh. All right.
How many Heisman Trophy
well,
winners?
we'll
have
find
we-
out
Gino
on draft
Torretta,
night.
baby.
Yeah.
We'll
Next
find
Gino.
That's what I mean. How many Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks have really hit it big?
Andre Ware.
There you go. I rest my
Rodney
case.
Peete, baby.
Where are we going?
Let us do. Give me a Shake
my.
Shack, please. The regular Shake Shack.
The regular
Yeah.
Shake Shack. You want a free Chicken Shack sandwich with a $10 purchase?
Hell yeah.
Go use code Woodward right now at any Shake Shack. Look at that crispy chicken, the pickle, the lettuce, the mayo, that soft bun. Go get you one now at Chicken Shack for free, or as a Shake Shack Chicken Shack sandwich.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big
Last
fitness
break.
energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
To any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's wicked awesome.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward
Stop
Sports.
searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
And with the first pick in the 2024 Media Draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to a beautiful sunny now afternoon here with Ermanni Edwards and me, Maz, with Anson and Stick. Stick had to run out. He's playing, coaching softball today, I think, or softball, or maybe baseball even, with his daughter. So welcome back to us. Me and Anson will take you through the rest of the show. What'd you think of that eclipse there, brother?
Very cool. I honestly, just seeing everything get dark was the best part.
Isn't this cool how it's getting light again now?
I know.
I mean, it's
I know.
right back to where we were.
Felt like it was 8 o'clock at night.
That was unbelievable, man. That was, I don't remember the one in 79. I was alive, of course. I was 17 years old. I don't remember it, but I remember reading the newspaper where it said, the next eclipse, you're going to be 2024. And we all looked at that newspaper and we said, wow, 2024. I wonder if it's going to be like the Jetsons. Remember the Jetsons cartoon? You know, they had the space sprockets and everything was robotics. We got a lot of robotics now. But looking from 1979 to 2024 was like looking into another galaxy.
Yeah.
The next one now will be only 21 years from now, and that will be 2045. So you can do the math on how old you're going to be. I'm going to be an old one. I'm going to be 83 years old. How old are you going to be, Anson?
And
45. So 21 years.
Like 41, I think.
What?
I don't know. Sounds good to me.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I mean, I just turned 46, so.
Okay, so 67.
Yeah.
You'll be 67.
And we're all going to be here looking really good, feeling
wood.
really good. But at the same time, man, we are in this amazing technological studio here at Woodward Sports, at Lady Jane's, and I'm looking at all of this equipment around you, and man, things have changed quite a bit since then.
You're not kidding, man. You are not kidding.
Quite a bit.
I just want to talk a little bit about, keep it in the NFL. This is another guy in the draft now. We talked about the quarterbacks. We talked about Drake May possibly not being a fit for a guy. As a matter of fact, Merrill Hodge called him a coach killer, a team killer. So we'll see where that goes. But the kid from Texas, defensive tackle.
Big story.
T'Vondre Sweat, arrested over the weekend for DWI. And this guy was supposed to be a late first or a second or third round pick.
Yep.
I didn't follow a lot of him, but what happens to him now?
Well, he's a top 3 defensive tackle, pretty much unanimously. The kid from Michigan right behind him. But like you said, Maz, this is a guy that was not going to leave the first round, and if he did, he'd be one of the first names called on Saturday. Now, or was it Thursday, Friday, Saturday? It's Friday.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
So, but in the second round, you'd have heard his name early. This is a guy that is squarely on the Lions' radar. Now, okay, does this become a gift in the second or third round for the Lions? Or as we talked about earlier about the culture of this team and what Dan and Brad are trying to put together, does it take him clean off the board? Because at his size and what he can do, I want to say, 6'4", 350 or something wild. It's a big man, a big, fast man. And a lot of teams are licking their chops over him. Now he's going to be taken off of boards. Is this a guy you take a chance on if he slips into that second round? Because for me, I like what we're looking at in the first and second. But in the third round, if this guy slips that far, I don't know how you let him get past us.
Now, is it another Jalen Carter situation? I mean, Jalen Carter did a little bit worse than what this kid did.
Yep.
I mean, Jalen Carter took a life. I mean, He was part of an accident, and he slipped to the Eagles. Now, that was a guy that the Lions probably, we still to this day, there might be some people that say, I wish we would have had Jalen Carter. I wish we would have had Jalen Carter. But the Lions draft was amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying there are people out there that wish that Jalen Carter was a Lion. Had a pretty good season with the Eagles, a little bit up and down at the end of the season. But here's another big body guy that made a mistake, and will it cost him?
Yeah, Jalen Carter, I mean, was pretty much a unanimous top 3 player in the draft last year. And the fact that he slipped as far as he did speaks volumes what it does to a team and what it does to your stock when you mess up. This guy, not quite as highly rated, so you can see guys like this slip way down. I've heard as low as the 4th round. For me, though, people make mistakes and get behind the car, behind the wheel when they've been drinking. We've seen that a lot of times. We've seen it
the
a lot
adults
this summer.
do it.
However, Lions know who this guy is. I'm sure that they'll figure out whether he's worth taking the risk. For me, if he's in the 3rd round, he better be in Honolulu Blue.
Yeah. If he goes that far.
Yeah.
If he goes that far. There might be a team that might take a chance on him, dropping right out of that first round to the early second round.
Yeah.
Teams like the Baltimore Ravens are always like perching and waiting for someone to fall like they do. They know how to draft, man. There's some teams out there that will be ready to pounce.
And that brings up a good point. When you have these franchises that have been so solid for decades, like the Ravens, like the Steelers, and maybe now like the Lions. Lions were unwilling to take any kind of chances on players with any kind of checkered background at all. And now I'm wondering if they've overhauled this locker room and the entire roster the way that they have with their type of culture players, would they be more willing to come and take a guy like this, take a chance on him, and just assume that he's not going to ruin everything, but he's going to get assimilated much easier than with the teams of the past here in Detroit?
A couple weeks ago, we talked about Michael Pittman, who got paid. Wide receiver got paid
big time
for the Indianapolis Colts. And here's a good story. Kid went out and took care of his parents. Bought his parents a brand new car after the deal. That's pretty damn good.
Love that.
I love it. I love hearing stories like that. And hats off to Michael Pittman.
You know, I actually asked Braylon this exact question that I'm going to pose to all three of you guys right now. Let's say you guys made it, all right? Whatever sport it is that you guys wanted to be great at, you made it. You get that big dollar contract. What's the first thing you're buying your parents? Maz, we'll go with you. Start.
I'm buying them a home in a nice, sunny, warm area where I can move them and they can be happy. My parents are happy. They never left New Jersey, but they went on very few vacations. All our vacations were in the car, driving down the shore, down the Jersey Shore, or going to Montreal, Quebec, stuff like that. I want my parents, and my parents are elderly, so if it was back in the day, I would have bought them an unbelievable house, not only down the Jersey Shore, where you can buy $1 million houses, but I would get him something in Florida or California.
2 houses.
To really enjoy himself. Hell
Love
yeah,
it.
man.
Love it. What about you?
Hell yeah.
Silent Mike?
I probably would just cut them a check, to be honest. I couldn't imagine just deciding for them. If I end up that successful, I would let them choose.
So a shopping spree, basically.
Yep.
But a world shopping spree.
Lifetime shopping spree.
There you go. I love that. What about you, Pistol Pete?
Well, since Mom and Dad have gone to the skies above, but let's just pretend they're still here. I would have gotten Mom the home in Palm Beach, Florida, where she loved to vacation all the time. So I would have gotten her a home there. And my dad, I know this sounds weird because he had a lot of stress in his life. I mean, marriage wasn't too good. I mean, a lot of stuff he did. I would try to, and me, thanks. I appreciate that. I would try to find him. I know this sounds like a cheesy. I'd like to find some way to get him peace. Yeah. Peace and just comfort in his life to where he just doesn't have to worry about anything anymore. I would ask him, what do you want? That's what I would get my dad. Dad, what will make you happy where you're never upset ever again?
Choose your own adventure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
what about you?
I might get my parents a chauffeur.
What about you, Anson?
How about that?
That work. I would love to get my mom a chauffeur. My dad doesn't need one. He's a pretty serious driver, even still a 78, man. But my mom, I would like to get that for her. I'd love to get her a house. I think we'd all love to do that. But my mom didn't go to Europe on a European vacation because I was about 6 and I kind of threw a little fit that I didn't want them to leave. Always wanted to take my mom on a European vacation.
That's sweet.
There you go.
That'd be the first thing I think.
Yeah, vacation,
maybe let her buy her a house in Italy or wherever she wants.
I forgot about those vacations. I might take my entire family.
There you go.
When I hear the term European vacation, I can only
let's
think
get in
of Clark
training camp, gentlemen. Let's do this.
Let's do it, man.
Right.
Let's do it.
I can only think of Clark Griswold in the European Vacation movie when you mentioned European Vacation.
Oh man, metallic P. The color of the roadster, the family roadster.
Hey. Well, that was the first one. I'm thinking of the second one, the European Vacation.
Oh yeah. What are those bells for? They're going to hang someone. Dad. I love that.
Hang someone.
Hey, we only got a few minutes left. We got to get the Red Wings talking.
Yeah, we do.
Red Wings are firmly entrenched now in a playoff run. They beat the Sabres yesterday. They needed to win that game, and they needed Washington to lose. Washington had a game in hand, 2 games in hand, actually. Yesterday, they wound up tying, losing in overtime, so they picked up a point. So the Wings have a point on the Caps. They come in tomorrow right here to LCA. That will be a fun game to go see. But let's put up this. There it is, man. There are 5 teams right now within Only 2 teams can make the playoffs. There are 5 teams within 3 points of each other to make the last 2 spots in the playoffs. You got the Islanders. You got the Red Wings. You got the who else is behind them? The Penguins. Who we're going to see the Penguins before it's over. Yep. The Flyers and the Capitals. Those 5 teams. Only 2 spots remain in the NHL playoffs. How important is it to you, Anson, that the Red Wings get in this year?
I think it's very, very important because I don't want to hear any questions about Steve Yzerman this offseason. He's by far the best exec that we've had in here since Kenny Holland left. This is a team that's ready to take that jump that I've been talking about for the last year or so. I think that the 20s are going to be a fantastic decade for Detroit sports. And we need 3 teams in the playoffs. We can do that with these guys and the Tigers, but if we can take that step, make a little bit of noise in the playoffs, you're just giving Yzerman that much more ammunition to go into free agency and make moves and build this team back to what it once was. Let's go, Hockey Town.
I agree, man.
Absolutely.
I agree. I think you have to make the playoffs this year. And I'm not firing Steve Yzerman. They gave us a pretty darn good season, a season that saw us pack LCA a few times. I want to see a playoff game there. I want to start making memories there. The Pistons obviously are not doing that yet. The Red Wings make the playoffs, and it's right now between the Rangers and the Boston Bruins for the President's Trophy. Whoever gets that will play the 8th seed. The Red Wings can still move up to the 7th seed, the first wild card spot. So out of those 2 teams, who would you rather see the Red Wings play in the playoffs?
Oh, man.
I want the Rangers.
Yeah,
I want to see the Rangers.
I know you do.
I want to see the Rangers.
I mean, I'd like to see the Penguins. Or wait, who would we be playing the first?
It's either the Bruins or the
would
Rangers.
Take the 8th spot.
Yeah.
I mean, neither one of those teams do we really have, even though they're original 6, neither one do we have that storied, you know what, New York, just for you, pal. Because we don't really have that since we moved over to the Eastern Conference. I don't feel that we've never been able to create those rivalries because we haven't been very good.
Right.
So as, again, original 6, I'll take either one.
But to see the Rangers, man, I want to see. I don't see a lot of Red Wings Ranger games. Maybe 1 or 2 a year. I want to see 7 games between these 2 teams. I think the Red Wings, when they get on a roll, can surprise some people. Remember when they won those 6 games in a row? Then they lost 5 in a row. I won't bring that up. But when they were playing so well, Patrick Kane, Alex DeBrincat, just the captain, Dylan Larkin, they got a shot, man. Goaltending's an issue. Maybe they answer that down the line. I'm not looking for a Stanley Cup win. I just think they should get in. They've got to try in these last 4 games to get in this playoff.
And the drought.
And get some experience.
Get these guys some experience.
Yep.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Absolutely, man. Pete, how about you?
Well, I was doing a few things while you were discussing that, so I'm going to pass. But I do want to let the fans know that when we do end the show here, I'm going to throw up a few select photos, Tommy, of our trip this weekend to Keeneland Racecourse in Lexington, and then the Great American Ballpark in Cincy.
We had a great time. Pete and I, my friend Tim Kane, Mike Allway, we drove down. We wanted to go to Keeneland Raceway, which is one of the top tracks in the world.
Look at this place,
in the United
Anson.
States.
Oh, there it is.
Let me tell you.
We had the weather of weather.
The most beautiful people were there. We
So
definitely did not belong there. Pete looked good.
Lots of cowboy boots and dresses,
Lots of
I hear,
cowboy
huh?
boots and lots of dresses. A sundress with cowboy boots.
Love that look.
And then the Great American
Yes,
Ballpark.
I mean, and we got on a roll. The 4 of us got on a roll. The first 6 races, we were on a roll, and people were coming up to us saying, "Man, you guys are having fun. How much you winning? What are you doing? What should I bet?" And then the roof caved in. The roof caved in. But I'll tell you, folks, I know there's not a lot of people in Detroit that really know horse racing. Horse racing has been taken away from our state. But it is a phenomenal event to go to. And if you go to a track like Keeneland, like Churchill Downs, like Saratoga, like Santa Anita, like Gulfstream Park, those are classics that I'm telling you guys, if you go, you'll be hooked.
What was the track we had over in like the Livonia area?
We had DRC in Livonia, and we had Hazel Park.
And
Northville Downs.
There's the
Not
best
too
picture
far
of the
away.
weekend.
Yeah, that's me and Pete trying to get out. We got lost on the way out of the place.
Now, Pete, where's your tan?
Where's my tan? Well, I'm actually red, man. If you can look, I'm actually red from the Cincinnati Reds game because I didn't have a hat on and I didn't have any sunblock, so I went cherry, baby.
It wasn't free bucket hat day, huh?
No, unfortunately not. I was thinking about getting some
bobblehead.
You did? Who'd you get?
Matt McClain of the Reds.
You know what? You've got a Cincinnati Reds story here. I'm going to tell you a little one that might just bring us to the end here. I was in Aruba, and I spot this old man sitting there in just the most touristy shorts and shirt ever.
I know who it is.
And it was Mr. Sparky Anderson.
Sparky.
And in fact, Brandon Phillips, their second baseman at the time, all-star, said that the Reds would not go on this cruise without Sparky Anderson. And we told some jokes. He talked about the wonderful women of Detroit. And I said something funny, and he smacked me on the back of my neck so hard. And all I could think about for the next 20 minutes was, man, Sparky smacked the hell out of me. I could die happy now, man.
Hall of Famer, baby.
I loved his ties to the Reds and how deep he went. As much as he loved his Tigers, he was a Red to the core.
He was, the big red machine.
And we saw a great T-shirt yesterday. It says, "I'm with Pete. I'll put 200 on the Reds."
Ooh, there you go. Let the guy in already. Come on.
So there's my Keeneland shirt, baby.
Hey,
Induct
guys,
him when you induct Shohei.
Thanks for tuning in today, guys. We're going to have the team back tomorrow. The originals. We're going to have Ryan and Braylon, God willing, and me and Pete and Mike and Anson. You've been awesome, man. I hope you had a great time this last few days.
I've had a blast.
We got to have you back. Thanks to Sick. Thanks to everybody in the chat. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Woodward Sports on Armani Edwards and Maz. And, of course, we got the heavyweights coming up. Spenny and Easy. You know they're going to bring it. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.